Welcome back to the second hour of LoveBabz Love Talk. It is Independent Book Sellers Weekend, Independent Bookstore Weekend. So if you are near independent bookstore, I guess it counts if you buy stuff online from an independent bookseller. So uh, that would be a way to go. Well, but this is a weekend for independent booksellers. So get out there and buy their books wherever you are. Oh man, I meant to grab my passport. Damn it. That's what I got up to do. It's in my handbag. And I can't get it now. Shoot. And there's nobody home to get it for me. Anyway, if you go up to the Possible Futures bookstore page, it is there. And you'll see the passport, and it's a statewide passport that allows you to see where all the independent bookstores are in Connecticut, and then it's like a trail. So you go there, you find it, and you mark off what you want to do. You go there, and then you have them stamp it, and then there's prizes to be won. I love a prize. I'm here for a prize. So here comes Lauren Anderson now to give us the 411 on Independent Booksellers Weekend. I mean, it's Independent Booksellers Day, but they done turn it into a whole weekend. Good morning. Unmute yourself. Good morning. Uh-oh, you can't hear? Okay. All right. I hear the technology. Listen, we do all the things. So this is Lauren Anderson from Possible Futures Bookstore. I'm giving her more stores than she has. I don't know if that's a Freudian slip, wishful thinking, or future focus. So that's where we are. So anyway, so I'm a big fan of independent bookstores. I come by it honestly. B. Doja Taylor was my very best friend and mentor, still is. And I spent a lot of time in a Walking Truth Christian bookstore and Black Print Heritage Gallery. Like, I spent a lot of time. And I used to live upstairs on the third floor for a year or so before I got married. So yeah, that was my introduction to independent bookstores. And then I'd go to Harlem, and I'd make my way to Liberation Bookstore, and then Human when it was open, and a couple of other books. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you perfectly.
Wonderful. Good
Independent
morning.
bookseller. Good morning. So tell us about this week, because it's a day, but y'all turn it into a whole weekend.
It's a day, but it's a weekend. I also am going to make a pitch that it should be every day of the year.
Yes.
No, Independent Bookstore Weekend's usually last Saturday in April. It's a day that just people across the country support their independent bookstores. It's an opportunity to recommit to not buying books from Amazon, making the switch, right, from like Audible, which a lot of people appreciate for audiobooks, over to one of the providers of audiobooks that, it works in partnership with, local small independent bookstores. And there is in Connecticut, there's also something called the Connecticut Book Trail that actually does happen not just on Saturday, but on Saturday and Sunday. And it's like participating independent bookstores across the state, welcome folks in, stamp these little passport books that are super cute.
Yes, I meant to have mine in front of me. It's in my handbag.
I can pop up and grab one. It's just like a really sweet little booklet. And there's a whole bunch of prizes. You can win up to $4,000 in gift cards from bookstores in the state. And it's just like it's a fun thing to do. And there is a slow and steady option where you can complete the book trail between now and the Labor Day, which gives you like plenty of time to get to the 21 stores that are on there, plus the important and amazing stores that just for whatever reason have opted not to participate in the official Connecticut book trail, but totally need the support of their local communities, and any of us, really. I mean, I hope people in New Haven will maybe take a minute today if they can't get down to Bridgeport to like get on Kindred Thoughts bookstore, wonderful Black-owned bookstore in Bridgeport. Jump on their website, buy a gift card, buy a book, make a purchase. They're not officially on the bookstore trail, but in my opinion, your Connecticut book trail is not complete if you don't make it to all of the bookstores, right? Not just the ones that are in the passport.
Okay. I love that there's a book trail, a bookstore trail, because you just don't know where they are. Like you just don't, how would you know if someone didn't put it out there for you? Do you know what I mean? Like I know Breakwaters in Guilford because I've had them on the show when the guys owned it. Somebody else owns it now, so I haven't been in there since it turned over.
Yep. And like Atticus isn't on the bookstore.
Oh yeah, Atticus. Oh my God.
Isn't on the book trail, but I do think like today would be a great day, today, tomorrow. Not only go to like Atticus if you can, even if you're just getting something small, just find a way to support them. Book Trader, like the used book stores are not on the book trail. So Book Trader, Gray Matter, Never Ending Books, all those great spots that like make a community what it is. Like people gotta show up for them, because I will say from experience it's not super easy. Like I look like a raggedy mess right now, so I
okay,
like
why would you say that?
I mean look at this, but I mean I'm in here like trying
because you're working
clean, right? Like clean and organize, and it's just not easy to keep any small business open, but certainly a bookstore, and like used bookstores are not like raking it in. Like they really need people to show up and make purchases. Everybody kind of like complains or is sad when a business closes, but often a lot of the people who are sad or like lament the closure didn't actually kind of do their part on the daily or weekly or monthly, or every now and then, or what they could do to like show up and support. So, there's like a lot of fun stuff happening at bookstores across the state this weekend. We have a lineup of events here that should be really nice. I hope I'll see you at some of them, Babz, and maybe
yes,
other
I'll
folks
be there today because
maybe.
I'm tequila today, so I'm coming.
I mean, what book space elsewhere has tequila in the afternoon?
because Hannah is going away. And she's like, I drink tequila. I don't drink wine. So I was like, wow, we could have to. I think that's why we like, Lauren, can we have tequila here? And she's like, yeah, we have tequila. So
Yeah, you can. I mean,
and we buy
pretty
books. I love
Yeah.
buying books. I have way too many books. I don't even know if I can say that. Like, do you ever really have way too many? You know what? I need a bigger house for all my books.
I also think like books probably, I personally feel, and obviously I'm biased, but I think it's really beautiful when people gift their books to other people, so it's like, can you have too many books? I think, maybe if they're cluttering up your like life space in a way that impedes, but like if you love them, one of the most wonderful things to do is to give something you love to someone else that you think it would be great for, and I do really appreciate that about books, is that they have many lives, like
Yes,
somebody
I have friends who have given me books for my birthday. My friend Anne in Wilmington, she gifted me one of the first edition of James Baldwin's books, signed.
Right.
And
Amazing.
then the first edition of Toni Morrison book, signed. So,
Yeah.
that means everything to me.
I
Like,
mean, yeah,
whoa.
exactly. Those are probably not ones that you're going to regift.
No. No, I'm gonna have to put them in the will to be like, make sure they go to the Beinecke or
Yeah.
or H or Howard or somewhere or
Yeah.
to my school, something. I don't know. So all right, so booksellers all over the country. Is this a countrywide celebration?
Yeah.
Is it a worldwide celebration?
I don't think it's a worldwide celebration. I think there's a similar kind of day in the UK. I don't know when it is, and probably in other places too, but it's national here in the US.
Okay.
And a lot of the organizations that like partner with bookstores or support bookstores have like promo things. Like the one I mentioned earlier, we have a lot of independent bookstores partner with a company called Libro FM for their audiobooks. And, Libro FM in a lot of ways is kind of an intervention on Amazon to help like provide another option. And if people buy their books through, like, for example, the Possible Futures storefront on Libro FM, we get a percentage of that purchase. And so Libro FM partners with people everywhere. And you can, like, if you live in Philly, you can get your Libro FM books in a way that supports Harriet's Bookshop, or you can pick any bookstore that you really want to support. But there, places like that are also having promotions and like sales and specials to encourage people, to sign up for memberships or to make some of these purchases this weekend. So yeah, it's coast to coast.
Mm. So last summer you went on tour. Or was it last summer? You went on a book tour.
It wasn't last summer, it was December.
Was it?
But I also feel like it feels both yesterday and like so long ago. Yeah, we went down, the staff of the book space went to DC, and we went through New York. Well, we went through Bridgeport, so we visited Kindred Thoughts. We went to some places in New York, including the Lit Bar in the Bronx and Word Up in Washington Heights. We went through Philly, so we went to Uncle Bobby's, we went to Harriet's, and then we got to DC and we visited a bunch of stores there because we were there for a few days. We went to Mahogany, we went to Loyalty, we went to City Lights, we went to Politics and Prose, we went to Sankofa. I mean, we visited so many bookstores. And then when we drove home, we visited a similar kind of number of spots along the way. And it was just,
Wow.
it was wonderful. Yeah. So I mean, I cannot say enough how much I hope people will go out wherever they are. Or if you're here, and you want to, like, there's a bookstore you've been hoping to visit, and even if it's not in Connecticut, like, it's going to be a beautiful day. Nice day for a drive. You could go just shower a little bit of love on some hardworking booksellers somewhere else, that has been on your kind of like regional bucket list or something.
Mhm.
It's great.
Well,
It's just great.
do you feel heartened that there's so many because for a minute there, Lauren, books independent bookstores were closing.
Yeah,
Now there
no,
seems to be a little bit of a renaissance with them.
I think it's true. I mean, I do think things changed in the pandemic. I think people realized what they stood to lose if local businesses closed. I think they also a lot of people rekindled their love of books in a way. And just a whole bunch of factors have come together, including, I think, it's not everyone, right? We know this, but the strong segment of the population that feels like, their schooling experiences have not taught them what they need to know about the world and about themselves and about other people. And they turn to books. And I think, now's a perfect example of that. I mean, I have always had books in the store about Palestine and by Palestinian authors. And they were not books that like tended to fly off the shelves. They were books that we kept here because of like a values decision to have them here.
Mhm.
That's the mission of our store and everything. But I think, in recent months, they've just been selling a ton, and they're not selling to people. There was a moment during the pandemic where I think people were buying books to like put them behind them on Zoom. They weren't necessarily reading them, but they were trying to communicate something about who they were based on what their shelf looked like. This is not that. This is really people. I really have the sincere sense that people are just like, wow, I don't think I've ever read anything by a Palestinian. I don't think my schooling experience ever really taught me anything about Palestine from a Palestinian perspective. Um, and people are just they're looking for sources of knowledge, so they're looking for books. And I think all of those things matter a lot. And I also think, perhaps, you talk a lot about loneliness. I do think like local bookstores are places um, that combat loneliness and
Oh, I
and
agree. Yeah.
that make people feel a sense of belonging. It's like, especially when you think of who they are included to. I mean, sometimes we drink in the bookstore, but you certainly don't have to drink here. Like, it's not like going to a bar, it's like really inclusive and has like open arms for the community to come in and actually be known and to hang out. And that's just not, that's not something you can get at many other places. So I think for all those reasons, yeah, bookstores are kind of thriving, and it's super wonderful to see. That being said, I like sometimes want to say they're thriving, but it's still incredibly hard, even if you're doing well, just given the margin on books. It's really hard to cover your expenses. No
Mm.
one, no one's making like a killing. You and I were joking the other day about Jada, the wonderful Jada, and how much I've like, wanted to like the book space wants to hire Jada full time. And it's just like, for a lot of businesses, that's easy to do because they make enough money to do it. It's hard, it's a struggle. So even though they're doing well, they need people to show up for them.
Mhm.
And when I say show up for them, I mean show up for us, but I don't mean like I say them, because I don't actually say this. And I think you know me enough to know this. It's like, I'd be happy if there was a bookstore in every single neighborhood. I think everybody should have a beautiful book space within walking distance of where they live. I think it's especially important if you're in a place where you don't have libraries nearby and things like that. But, I think everybody everywhere needs to show up for the places in their local neighborhoods. They're
I
super
love it.
important.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love the little library book houses things
Yeah.
that you are that you like I drove by the laundromat. I see the kids skipping into the laundromat. Like, I was like, why are these kids why are they going to the laundromat? Like, they're not, and they have no laundry in their hands because that little book thing is in there, and they know that they could get a book.
Yeah, and there are 9 more coming, including one coming to your porch, right? Woo woo! I know, I'm
Yes,
so excited.
yes,
In the
I'm excited.
in the hilarity of book space life. Yesterday, of course, I got 10 gigantic boxes of donated books delivered.
Oh,
You saw what it looked like in here, delivered here. So then I also just want people to know, like, the glamorous life of a bookseller includes, for example, moving all 10 of those books into your pickup truck, from your pickup truck into your garage. Thank goodness I actually have a garage at home, because I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, there's a lot of books in there. Let's just put it that way. But they're all sitting there getting ready to go in these neighborhood book boxes. And it is really beautiful. People have been donating, some businesses have been donating. Little Free Library, which is the organization we're partnered with that gave us the grant, has sent us a bunch of books. And so it's just really exciting now that the weather's turning.
yes,
Um,
it is turning.
to think about putting more books outside, more books just in community for people to make use of.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, so give me some highlights of what you got going on for the weekend. Tell me what's happening. I kind of know what's happening, but tell me what's happening. Like, what do you have going on? Because I know Saturday, which is tomorrow.
Hey, yes. So the weekend event, sorry.
That's all
The
right. You're
weekend
running a
event,
business.
yeah, kind of start today, because we are supporting an event this afternoon with some amazing authors and scholars. It's a kind of dialogue and poetry reading about Palestine. And it's on Yale's campus. I don't even know exactly where it is, but you can register for it. And we'll be there with books by Robin D.G. Kelly, who'll be there, Hala Alyan, and Natalie Diaz. And that's happening at 4 o'clock. And if you register, I just haven't registered yet officially. If you register, you get the information about where it's taking place. And then tomorrow I'm going to just grab the 2 books. So hold on one second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
There
so
are
there's a bunch of activities going on so people can really enjoy this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah, there are 2 children's book authors coming tomorrow at 1:00 and 2:00. One of them is the amazing Gwendolyn Wallace. This is her book, The Light She Feels Inside. Gwendolyn's fantastic. Grew up in Connecticut, Black woman. This is her second book. Her first book was called Joy Takes Root, about a young girl who's learning to garden and grow things with her grandmother. It was a beautiful book. We kind of had a little launch party here, and she's coming back to bless the book space with her presence on Independent Bookstore Day. We're so excited. So she's going to do story time, and she's going to sign books. And then the other author who's coming is the author Aya Ganameh, who wrote The Olive Trees, a Palestinian family story. She's also going to be doing a story time, and and they'll both be here to like sign books, but also answer questions for adults and young kids about what they write about, but also just about what it's like to be an author, and what it takes to be an author for children. And then in the evening, we're having the amazing Sean Murray is hosting a comedy show, and we absolutely love Sean. He's such an amazing human and a dear friend. He also will make you laugh so hard that you will pee your pants. I mean, it's just hilarious. So his show is called Read the Room. He did it a long time ago at the first draft of the book space, and it was a huge hit. Like, just amazing. He put together a lineup of other comics in the region. That will be the same thing tonight. It's a little bit thematic. It's like they're doing it with kind of with some connection to the fact that this isn't like happening in a comedy club, happening in a bookstore. So it should just be a really, really wonderful, good time. And that's happening at 8. Tomorrow, Sunday, we are open a little bit longer than normal. We usually open at noon on Sundays, but we're opening at 10, so that people can come and have their passports stamped if they're trying to get around the state to all these different bookstores. We know they need a little more time. There's a wonderful Connecticut-based author and kind of like diverse books advocate named Sharnae Gordon, who runs a super popular Instagram page called Here We Read, and the we is WEE, like little people. So kids books. And I love her. She's super dynamic. She's like a real community builder among book lovers in the state and beyond. And she will be having like a kind of meetup of people who spend time on Instagram talking about books. So they're going to be meeting IRL, in real life at 1. And that's really open to anyone. You can come and hang out and meet some of those folks. Just a book nerd extravaganza. And then at 3, the amazing Shanna Melton, who is, Connecticut-based poet and artist and educator, is going to be hosting kind of like, we called it a poetry reading and community salon. She's going to read from her book of poems, which is beautiful. She's also just going to invite people to read a poem that they bring with them that means something to them. It could be a poem they've written, but it also could just be a poem that has stuck with them or served them well during an important time in their life. And it should be beautiful. And, we'll have like snacks and, some little prizes. And I it's also very sweet. We'll have a sale cart. So I know, Babz, you knew Henry Berliner a little bit. Yeah, who was like a longtime book person in New Haven. His partner, after he passed away, gave us a book cart, which was really sweet. So there's going to be the Henry Berliner bargain book joy.
I love the way things just show up in this community that just enhances and delights the love of books and reading of books and people. I mean, I think that's so charming.
Yeah, super sweet. It's going to be outside because like I kept thinking like we don't have the space really in the store for another thing. But then I was like looking at the weather, looking at the weather, looking at the weather, and I'm like, thank goodness. So the weather's going to be good. So the sale books will be just like out in this rolling cart on the sidewalk in front of the store. Um, and yeah, it should just be like a really beautiful weekend. I hope people will come through, hang out, or even just like pop in and say hi. Of course, always wonderful to have folks make a purchase, but at the end of the day, we'd still rather see you and receive your love and support, because that also keeps us going, right? We need purchases, but we also just need like community. And so even if you're not like able to buy something this weekend, we still hope you'll pop in and say hi and just like Jisoo will be here, Raquel will be here, Alex will be here. Like, tell the people who work here that you're glad
All
that
my favorite people.
I know that you're glad that they exist, and that you
Yes.
that you appreciate like what they do. I think that would just that would be amazing.
Well, I will definitely be through there at some point during the weekend. I mean, I'll be over there today, but I definitely want to come and be a part of and I need to get my passport stamped. So
Yes,
and that happens on Sunday, right? So I have to get it stamped on Sunday.
on
So
Saturday.
I
Actually, no,
get
you can get your passport. So quick thing to say about that: we have about 50 passports here, and they're free, and they're really cute. They give
they
you
are.
They give you the address and information for all of the bookstores that are participating. Each bookstore has its own page with the hours on it, a place for the stamp, a place for you to write notes about like what you liked and little things, give it a star rating. And then it also gives you a space to mention some other businesses in that community to visit. So those are places that are picked by the bookstore, like by the bookstores themselves, so that when people come, if they're coming from somewhere else and they're like, oh, I'm in New Haven, what else might I go see? They have some built-in suggestions. And so
Oh,
it is this
good.
really like wonderful little resource guide. And I will say, usually like the bookstore folks in any community are going to shout out other wonderful small businesses, and maybe the ones that you wouldn't necessarily come across without without them letting you know. So it's almost like a cheat sheet to some of these smaller towns in Connecticut. And yeah, it can get stamped at any time on Saturday or Sunday.
Okay.
So
I'm serious about this, Lauren. Now I'm gonna probably take the
I'm
slow
taking the slow
boat
route
to
too.
China because I'm
I'm-
not going to run around this state in 24 hours. Like I'm not doing that. But
no.
I will do my best to try to get to all of them
Yeah.
between now and the end of
Yeah.
the summer. Like
Yeah.
those would be like day trips, and I
Totally.
as I said to you, I would marry it with the vegan spots because there's a bunch of vegan spots in places that are like off the beaten path. So I was like, okay, let me map this out and see what I could do on a Saturday or a Sunday, in the early part of the day, so I could, do that. So I
Yeah.
think that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, it's super fun. We can caravan, because I mean I'm happy we can carpool to some of them at least. I mean, there are also some people who I have like interactions with online just in the way that you do if you like I don't know, when our heat went out, we got the sweetest messages from some bookstore folks across the state. And
Oh,
I know. And so it's like I just but it's often very hard, when you run a small business, to like go places, because
yeah.
you're always in your own spot. So I love that it's just also for me, it's like something to do that will hold me accountable to getting out to everybody at some point. So I'm happy
Yeah.
to drive. I'm also happy
I
to
know
get
you're
in
happy to
to get
drive.
in Erie with you.
Well, we're gonna make a date of that. We'll sit down and plan out when we could go to what, because
Yeah,
I really like seeing it laid out, and it's a great way to see some of Connecticut. Really,
totally,
honestly, it's great
totally.
to see some places that you wouldn't ordinarily haunt. So I'm excited about that. So my little passport is in my bag. I want people to come out this weekend. If you go to the Possible Futures social media pages on Instagram or Facebook and wherever else, or the website, you could see the indie bookstore day and the weekend events at Possible Futures, so that you can plan your day accordingly. And it's a great space if you have kids. Um, bring your kids. If you have those angst-driven teenagers, bring them because there's great young adult books. that I know I've yet to meet a kid who was not engaged with a young adult book or a graphic novel. And these graphic novels are incredible. So
Yeah, like works of art.
works of art, and they're weighty, you know what I mean? Like they're not just 2, 3 pages, like it's a whole arc of a story.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah. So
Oh, well,
well,
thanks for having me on, Babz.
I'm so glad that you could jump on. I know you have a lot to do. You got 50 million things. I'm coming through at 1, right? Or 1:15
Yes,
for something. So I'll
yes,
be after I leave the gym, after I go pump some iron,
that's right.
I'll make my way, and then I'll run some other errands, and I'll meet Hannah back and TJ, and
I know.
we just took over your store.
I welcome it. It's actually, you can't take over my store because it's only, it's not mine. That's the beauty of any kind of anything that does what it's supposed to be doing community wise. It's like traditional ideas about like ownership don't fit it anymore, which is like exactly right. It's everybody's. It's yours. So when you're like, can I bring tequila? I'm like, all right.
All right, all right.
You're
I
gonna
bring
let
tequila
me.
and I bring people. I bring
I
people. I
know,
bring
I
people.
know. I
So
I
bring
know,
your
and if you're gonna
friends.
let me drink it, no problem.
That's it. Thank you. So yeah. So everybody get out, like just go to your bookstore of choice, your independent bookstore of choice. Mine happens to be Possible Futures. That's where I am a resident bookie.
Ambassador of book joy.
Ambassador of Book Joy. So you can find me camped out there just about any day of the week that they're open. So I love it there. And if you come, you'll love it too. Thank you, Lauren Anderson, for this time to spend with you, to talk with you.
Oh, thanks for squeezing me in, and I'm gonna go back to organizing so that it looks
Yes.
real good when y'all show up later today or tomorrow or Sunday.
All right, my dear. Love you
All right,
lots.
love you. Bye.
All right. Take care. All right, Harry Jones, I'm out. I'm at Story Week next week. And next week is the Great Give. So WNHH is doing what we do around the Great Give. We are preempting our usual programming to handle the 36th hour of the Great Give. So y'all give greatly. I will not be around for it. I will be at Story Week, which is something I love to do. And I'm excited and blessed to be able to do it. So Harry and company, they will handle the Great Give, and Harry will play all the best shows that I've done for the couple of hours that I'm on this thing. And y'all have a good weekend. Get out there, Independent Bookseller Weekend. Make your way to your independent bookstore. And I'll see y'all when I get back sometime or other. I don't know, when am I back? I'm back on whenever I'm back. The 6th. I'll be back Monday the 6th after my birthday, because my birthday is May 2nd.